We like your money.
Money, money,
Give us your money.
money, money,
Give us your money.
money, money,
Give us your money.
money, 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 money.
Yeah, this is Apple, yeah. This is Apple, This is Apple, yeah. Every day I'm
Yeah.
running updates, yeah.
But why?
Oh, you like this bit?
Thought I'd start out with this little thing here.
Why?
Oh, you want this bit? Here, you can have it back.
Ka-ching.
This is what you call pro.
Yes,
This is what you call pro.
yes,
This is what you call pro.
yes.
This is what we call pro.
Oh no.
Here, have some more.
Dongles.
Yes, we know you love them.
Dongles.
Innovative is the word.
What?
This is what innovation looks like.
Hello and welcome to Jakob haQ.
You know, with every update
Live.
of iOS, everything keeps getting worse.
I'm looking for a new iPad.
Hey, do you like this phone?
Yes,
Do you like this phone?
yes,
Do you like this phone?
yes.
What about this one then?
Oh no.
Hey, the headphone port.
Dongles.
Can't find a headphone port.
Dongles.
Wait, it looks like this now.
What?
Why would they do this?
Ka-ching.
This is Apple, yeah. This is Apple, yeah.
Uh,
This is Apple, yeah.
Every day unwanted updates, yeah.
but why?
Oh, you like this bit?
Yes.
We're gonna take this bit.
Why?
Oh, you want this bit?
Here, you can have it back.
Ka-ching.
Am I a masochist?
Yes.
Am I a masochist?
Yes.
I really do think that some of us might be masochists. I mean, we are kind of torturing ourselves with all of the dongles and all of the stuff we need. And that is a good question. How many more new dongles would we have to get if we got ourselves iPads with USB-C connectors? I've done a lot of research into this now, and I think I'm gonna stop the video right there. Not the live stream video, but this video. Because yeah, we're gonna get into that. So I need a new iPad. I really do, because mine is from 2015. It's this model, the iPad Pro 12.9 inch. It's the first generation of iPads, and it is getting old. I'm definitely noticing that, you know, with every iOS update, even though some stuff are getting like more and more, what do you call it, like optimized, some stuff are not as optimized. There's been some problems with some of the video editing apps that I'm running, some of the music apps, well, a lot of the music apps. And when it comes to IAA, which has always been a little bit buggy, it turns out to be even a bit more buggy nowadays. But not just that, AUV3 is also a bit buggy, and you know, it could have to do something with the apps we're using, and it could have something to do with the iPads. But if there's one thing I did notice, it is that when I'm working with a lot of tracks, like big projects where I'm running a lot of apps and a lot of audio tracks and stuff like that, effects, well, I run out of juice very quickly on the processor. Because when we talk about the RAM, that's something completely different, and we're gonna get deep into that, because the RAM is being handled completely different on iOS compared to desktop, and also compared to desktop, basically. So I have a little article I found. It's from 2014, but the information is not really out of date. It's still up to date. Well, not up to date, but it's still very, very viable to look at right now when it comes to RAM and stuff. And there are so many aspects of this. So I want to begin by saying, or hello and welcome to Jakob haQ Live. We are looking at iPads today. Is it worth getting an older iPad? I mean, one from 2018. Is it just better to get a new one? We're gonna try to answer those questions today, and I have to answer those because I need to know which one of these I should get. I've been looking at some specific ones, and I've been looking at the 11-inch and the 12-inch. And I just saw that Henny from Henny the Business, he just put up a video where he talked a little bit about the iPad Pro 11-inch, and he seems to like it. I started laughing when I watched it. I love the guy, and he's like, the reason to why I got this one is because I wanted to try it out, and I was expecting like maybe something else, but I just found it funny. I do suggest you go check that out and see what he has to say about it. Henny the Business. I think I have a link to his channel down in the description. So I want to just go over and check, and as usual I recognize a lot of you in here, But I'm not gonna just sit and shout out everyone's name now. Let's just get into the meat of this. And why don't you, in the comment section, tell us if you've bought a new iPad? I saw that Grant had purchased a new iPad. He was hoping that I was gonna give the 11-inch a thumbs up, and so far I can't give anything a thumbs up, but I've been looking at the 11-inch and it looks promising for someone like myself also, and I have been considering it. And it has to do with money. And so let's look at the models that I have been looking at. And so the first thing I wanted to like compare, I'm using GSM Arena, by the way. Their comparison option here is really, really good because it gives you the ability to just type in all the iPads you want to check out, or the iPhones, and you can just check out like all of the stats in here. So we're going to do a little bit of that first. I see there's Russ also went for an 11-inch 2020 iPad. Very happy with it. Happy to hear that. Adam uses a 2018 Pro 12, and it's better than his 2015. And I would expect it to be, because that's what I've got right here with the thick bevel, bevel with the. You know what I'm trying to say. So this is my model, iPad Pro 12.9-inch 2015. And here we have the iPad Pro 12.9-inch from 2018, the second gen iPad Pro. And here we have, I'm not uncertain. I'm uncertain if this is. I think this is the third gen. Wasn't there one like during 2017? Aren't there 4 versions? But the 2017 version, I don't think they did many changes to it. I think they put in some fingerprint home button thing on that one, so it was basically like 2000. It's basically the same as this one. However, the 12.9 compared to this one is a bit different. So one thing I like to do is go here and press differences, and that way we'll get some grayed out information here where they're similar basically, and then it will show everything that makes them different. You see, what I wanted to know was how much smaller are the new iPads, because over here we've got the iPad Pro from 12.9-inch from 2020, the new one. And when we look at the measurements for it, it's as big as the one from 2018 is. And when it comes to screen size, I'm uncertain here, but it says like the actual like screen to body ratio differs quite a lot. Like on this iPad, there's a 77% screen to body ratio, and you can see that because of the bevel. And then the other ones have 85.4%. And even though they're just as big, they're released just 2 years apart, these two newer ones. When it comes to the processor, it seems like they're the same too. I mean, this one is using something called an A12X Bionic, and the other one A12Z Bionic. I couldn't really tell you what the difference is, because it's an octa-core. Both are using octa-core, and they basically are using Vortex and Tempest processors, right? It's the same. I mean, it's a big step up from this one, because this old iPad, it's just using a dual core. And then when we look at the graphics, the newer one is a bit hotter. Now, when we look at, what is it? Where is it? One thing I was really interested in. Here, okay, here we go. When it comes to RAM, this might not be as important. It might not. It depends on what happens in the future with apps, and the way that developers might have iOS being open up to them for programming. Because it turns out that even though you have like 6 gigabytes of RAM or 4 gigabytes of RAM, when it comes to our music apps, most of our music apps use about 256 megabytes, and they're kind of locked up to that. There are some differences, but think about it. Even if you have 6 gigabytes of RAM, when it comes to the music apps themselves, you're kind of locked to a limit. And so in many cases, it doesn't matter if you're running your apps on an iPad that have 6 gigabytes or 4 gigabytes of RAM, or even maybe 3, like the iPad Airs and stuff like that. So in this case, I'm not too sure if it's gonna make a difference right now, but maybe in the future. That's the thing. If anyone else in this chat room has any more information, then feel free to put that in there. I have like I said, I do have another article here that we can go into and look at the RAM usage for some iPads and for some apps, and the way it looks like depending on what iOS you're on. Because that's also going to be a thing, because with every iOS I've seen how the RAM gets eaten up more and more, and I also see how the storage space itself gets eaten up more and more. When I purchased my iPhone 6s here, I pretty much had like 15 gigabytes over out of that 16 gigabyte. They sell them as a 16 gigabyte device, but today the iOS itself is using 2 point something gigabytes of that storage now. When I bought it, it was down. I think it came. Did it come with iOS 9 or something? And now with iOS 13, it's way less space on the phone. And when you have a 16 gigabyte device, you're really noticing that you have less space. And this thing also only has two gigabytes of RAM, and we'll do a little test later on, because I have this RAM testing thing that shows you how much of the RAM is being used. We're gonna do that too. Let's see here. What are you saying? What are you saying? I've had my iPad 2015 10.5 Pro for 2 years. Works perfectly for my needs. You see, what I need, I often have to bounce down everything I do, because when I hit a wall, it's usually because I'm using 20 tracks inside Cubase's. I've already bounced stuff down. I've already unloaded the instruments. I've got a few effects in there, because most of the effects have been bounced down with the audio itself, and so it's contained in there. I've already done the FX tweak. I've already done the close reverberation I need on sounds. I've already done the equalizing, the compressing, and then afterwards when I bounce it out, all I need to do is just mix everything a little bit and maybe use a few compressors, maybe a few equalizers here and there. And even though I do that, the more audio I have in there, the slower it gets. And most of the time it's actually due to like graphics. So if you're using a lot of cut up audio and you have a lot of like bits and pieces of wave files or MIDI files on your screen, then the whole session gets all jerky, not smooth like this. It just goes like that. And I think that's locked to the graphics, and you can't really do much about that. It's so hard knowing exactly what to go for here. How far back can you go with an iPad before it gets too old? I've made a video about this in the past, but in my case I want to make sure that my channel stays on top, not on top of the game, but in at least at the front of the game, by having access to something that doesn't use the lightning connector, because I have no devices with USB-C connectors. Whenever I make a video about these things, I always have to say that, and I don't like that. I want to be able to cater to anyone coming into my channel. It just feels it would feel good if I could do that. iOS and macOS always use the shit out of RAM to cache data to speed things up. Is there a fallout there? The cache memory is tagged pursuable, so it will get flushed when other things need it. Oh, okay. My understanding is AU were capped somewhere around 256 megabyte. Yeah, exactly. This might have changed. Yeah, and here's the thing. This is an article that I found. We're gonna keep on looking at this, because we're gonna look at between the models, the 2011, sorry, the 11 inch and the 12.9 inch, and some stuff in between there. Because I am trying to save money. I am far from rich, and even if I decide to get an iPad now, I still have to wait quite some time before I can actually afford it. So of course I want to save money, but how much can I save, and how much will it be worth saving, depending on what I get for the money I save. There's actually a plus to buying something older, and yeah, let's get into that later. But what I did was I searched for how much RAM does music app use iOS. I found this thing. Wait, there. Stack Overflow. I found this on Stack Overflow, and there was someone talking about like standardization, I think, or something. I found a list. Is this the list? That's not the list. Wait, I found it on my phone. So let me just. No, wait. Maybe I found it on the smaller iPad. I think I might have. It was on Stack Overflow, but it didn't look like that. Let's see here. I found it over here. So that you will probably not be able to see because it's way too bright. Over here. Is that it? Is that the same thing? Am I trying to read the same thing? It is the same thing, isn't it? Yeah, for the original iPad, 256 megabyte RAM. Okay, so there was a list here. Come on. Where did I find the list? There was someone like putting up a list, and like with all of the iPad models up to the iPad Pro and all of the iPhone models. I can't find it now. What is this? Is that it? That kind of looks like it. Debug mode. No. Well, I guess I messed that one up. I felt so confident starting this stream because I thought I found some interesting information, but I can't find the list now. It was a clear list. Okay, never mind. Let's just keep it flowing. Fact is, I don't know exactly how RAM works, and I don't know how important it is. But I do believe that even if I get a device with 4 gigabytes of RAM, I'm kind of safe for the future, at least for like 3 or 4 years ahead. And that's enough for me with a new iPad. So let's look at this again. So when it comes to screen space, I mean, between these models, it's pretty much the same. They're 12.9 inch, of course. I'm not so interested in the like video capabilities because I don't like filming with iPad. They're just too big to handle, and you would have to have a holder all the time. So that's not really my type of thing. I don't like doing that. I don't like recording videos with my iPad, even though the new iPad, really new one, has that cool camera and with the lidar and everything. And I'm of course wondering what can be done with that, because hey, I've never had anything as fancy as that. Seriously, that could be a cool thing to try out. But at least we know that that camera can do 4K, and what is it, up to 60 frames per second. So I mean, that's good for YouTube. Absolutely. I still run at 1920, and my live streams are at 720p. Come on. I mean, my live stream is still living in the back ages of like 2010 or something. Let's see here. iPad OS 14 will have improvements to memory management, so we'll see when it's out of beta. 4 gigs isn't much in my honest opinion. It's always been my biggest issue with iOS devices. RAM is very phone-like. For video editing, RAM is also very important. Yeah, and Enrique, I know what you're saying, but there's one thing that iOS does very differently, and also Mac very differently from PC, for instance. Like, I haven't, like, once I got into video editing on these devices and I started exporting stuff, I was absolutely amazed by how fast it would export video. Like, how it's sick how fast it goes. And I used to have to use like really serious setups for PCs, costing a lot of money in order to get the same kind of exporting speeds that I do with iOS with a phone just out of the box. It's just insane because they dedicate so much of the hardware of the GPU just to doing that it just goes really quickly. So even though you normally need a lot of RAM, I mean, it still does the exporting without a problem actually. My monitor, a TV, is 1080p. Okay, listen, I'm a gamer, okay? But if people knew what I'm gaming on, they would not think that I'm a gamer. They would think that I'm a hack. And I am a hack. I mean, in one way, but I'm not a comedian, okay? But I use a very old flat screen TV. Very old. It's so old that it's like this thick. Yeah, it's very flat. So if you think about the iPad, how big the 12.9 inch is, and so the TV is this thick, and that's called a flat screen TV, and it's only able to show or display 1080p, 1920 times to 1280p when you run it as a computer monitor. But but as a TV, it will only display like 720. And here's the thing. Here's the funny thing. When I connect the HDMI to it, it also only displays 720p. Yeah, so that's what I'm gaming on. That's that's all these amazing games. I've been playing The Witcher 3. It looks amazing. The details in the game, amazing. But I'm watching it on a 720p monitor. So, yeah, I don't know what to say. I'm waiting for the micro LED. You know, I want to buy a new TV, but yeah, my girlfriend won't let me. But maybe she will, but yeah, she'd rather I buy something used. And when it comes to TVs, I just have a bad feeling about that. All right, so when it comes to the speakers, all of these have four speakers. And they always sound really, really good, and I don't have much to complain at. Now, the most important bit about this, actually, for me, with a new iPad, is that it does not come with a headphone port. And I know that there are people out there that wish that we would just that people who complain about that would just shut up about that. Stop talking about that. Why are you annoyed about that? I am annoyed because I use a big set of standard gear that uses the headphone port. I use that all the time. And to have to go get a stupid dongle because, like I said in one of my songs, Tim Apple loves my money, so he's breaking it up in a million pieces. And he just wants us to sing that song, ding ding dong, let's get another dongle. And that's my main gripe with this, okay? I haven't had since I don't have one of these devices with a USB-C port, I don't know if there are any good connectors out there. But here's the thing. Devs tell me that the USB-C port is different. It's not as proprietary as the Lightning port was. Because when you get the Lightning port, you kind of have to get the real deal. You know that probably by now. And I've done so many videos about it. And you know, even though I make these videos and make it clear why, there are still people getting angry at me for saying, hey, go buy the real deal. They're pissed at me for that. They come to my video because they want to solve a problem they're having. They're having connection problem. Why? Because they bought a third-party connector. And when they hear that I tell them, go get the real one, it will work then. They get angry with me. I just, that logic is amazing. It's spot on. But that's the thing, right? Developers tell me you don't need the USB-C connector to be MFI certified. And that's a good thing, because doesn't that then mean that if we have stuff like this that can connect directly to the iPad, then wouldn't it be enough with just a USB-C to USB-C cable to connect it up? No adapters in between. Stuff like that would be very nice and very simple. I like the USB-C connector. It fits really nice into things, and I do have like a Rolly light block. I have this one, and the connector sits really well in there compared to the Lightning one, which I don't like. It kind of glitches sometimes, and yeah, it's just, I think that might be a good thing. The problem is charging and using the USB port at the same time. So for those of you who have these newer ones, tell me how you've solved the problem if you are one of those that uses these new ones with the USB-C, and you like using stuff that uses a headphone like a port connector, like a jack. If you use that, how have you solved being able to work using that stuff and charge at the same time? Have you found some sturdy, good connectors that won't cost you your shirt? Type that down below. I really need to know that, because that's going to be the biggest annoyance of my life dealing with when I get a new one. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that think the same thing. I'm a Mac and iOS user since 2011. From Dimitri here, by the way. There are a few good games for Mac, but just a few. I rediscovered gaming with GeoForce Now, just in case anyone is in the same situation. Oh, this was related to the gaming. I just start reading stuff out loud and I don't even know the context of it. I bought a headphone socket with a charger for cheap on Amazon and it works great. Yeah, and this is what I've been wondering about. Can we finally now buy third-party stuff that won't just break instantly or just drop the connection as soon as we update iOS? Because that's been it really has been the biggest gripe for all this time. And another one is not being able to connect your external hard drives. I mean, come on, that's something we want to do, right? Apple did fix that with iOS 13, and now it works with lightning connectors. As long as you have your drives and hard drives and flash drives formatted to the right type of file format, then you're okay. It's good, but it's still very somewhat jiggly for me. Jiggy, somewhat dodgy. Is that, you know what I mean? It doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't quite connect, And I do feel a bit awkward about just pulling the stick out. So I tend to. Sorry about that. I tend to try to turn off the iPad so it's not powered on or anything before I pull out any memory sticks or anything that I use with this one. But that's one thing I want to be able to use fairly simply. Just grab my portable drive, hard drive, and just jack it in there. Tell me about your experiences. I really want to know. I'm going to go back and read every comment very carefully to see what kind of bits of information I'm missing out by just sitting here talking and having a monologue with you. I use third-party stuff in Lightning port. It's a tricky subject, but it's doable. Yeah, Enrique, it is doable. But as soon as a new iOS comes out, usually if those third-party stuff aren't MFI certified, meaning they have all the licensing and the chip in there, then as soon as you upgrade iOS, it just stops working. It kind of breaks it. I've had 1,000 people come to my channel and tell me, oh, why isn't it working? It's always the third-party thing. And whenever, because it does happen, that the regular CCK and the USB 3 to Lightning does not work when you update iOS. But what happens is that if you wait for an update, again iOS, and you plug that in, it's going to prompt you and say, hey, you need to update your CCK, or you need to update your USB 3 to Lightning connector. And when it's done that, it works again. So I think it's the same thing with the Belkin MFI certified stuff and the Anchor MFI certified stuff, that they just start working again because they're MFI certified, made for iOS, made for iPhone. I can't remember what it was. But if they don't have that, if they're like really cheap, I've bought a lot of cheap cables. I've done a video about that. It's my most viewed, most hated video on my channel also, most thumbs down ever. And I talk about my history with cables, and it's just so hard finding a good one that will, hold. Many of the cables I bought that were cheap, like you buy a cable for maybe under $10, under $5, a lightning cable just for charging. I plugged it in, and it instantly tells me that it's not supported. Stuff like that happens to me all the time. Some people do find stuff that works, but the reason to why I always say get the real deal is because if I didn't, then my comment section would look horrible. It would look as if I'm getting attacked by 4chan or something, by really, really angry people, angry at me for telling them everything works when it doesn't. It's just too risky. I don't want to risk having a fallout like that. So I try to walk the safe side, even though it feels shitty to dish out that amount of money for a little plastic device like that. I use external hard drive, Samsung, flawless. Samuel says, Jacob, check Chell and Company. They have some good USB-C stuff. Loxo parts with USB-C charging and headphone jack. Really? All right, cool. I've got I've got it down in the mall here, so I'll probably just grab a mask, walk down to the mall, and just probably some gloves too, and some rubbing alcohol, and I'll run in there screaming so everyone just stays away from me. I usually do that. I scream a lot. I scream like nothing, like a banshee. I scream, and I scream, and most people will stay away. And then I have just enough time to run in to a store, do my shopping until the guards come and throw me out. And since I already have the goods in my hands, they can't really do much about it. I'm like, okay, it's okay, I'm gonna leave. Then of course it creates problems for you, because then when you go back the next day, you also have to like kind of stay away from them. It's almost like playing a stealth game, I can almost visualize people watching me all the time, and none of this is true. None of this is true, and you shouldn't believe it. And I have no idea why I started talking about that. I in fact know that it works so well. Would have bought an iPad with less hard drive memory, but I went for 256. Russ, listen, my man. Wait, did I just assume that you're a man? Okay, most of my audience, YouTube tells me, are men, so maybe it's not so weird that I'm assuming that. But if you aren't, I'm sorry. If you are, then nothing, right? Okay, so I definitely need more than 128 gigabytes. No doubt about it. I keep having to. Every video I make, I have none of the original material left, because when I'm done, I have to delete it to make space for the new project. And sometimes I have to move stuff like music projects over to my hard drive in order to save space so that I can make and export a video. Because when you're exporting videos on iOS, since it uses the hard drive to do that and not the RAM, it actually needs double the amount of the final export. So if you're exporting a file that is 10 gigabytes, you need 20. And you better stay safe. You know, it shouldn't be exactly 20. You want it to be around 22 left on the hard drive in order to be able to export a 10 gigabyte file. Stuff like that. And then we come to the storage. You see, the reason to why I'm looking at... I'm sorry for disappearing. The reason to why I'm looking at the older iPad, the 2018 iPad, is because for buying it used from someone now, here in Sweden at least, I can get it for let's say that the new, let's look at this, let's do this. The cheapest option right now, like Grant went for an iPad 11, someone else here went for an iPad 11. Okay, so Apple iPad Pro 11 from 2018 and 2020. The reason to why I looked at getting an older one of these is because, number one, the 11 is cheaper than the 12.9. Okay, so that's done. Now, if I get an older one, the new one in Sweden costs about €1,000, and in dollars I'm not sure, but let's say it's a bit over $1,000. All right. In Swedish kronas, that's like 10,000. And if I get a used Apple iPad Pro, I can get a steal price between 750 euros, like 750 euros, and €1,000 between there. If I go to this auction site called Tradera, it's kind of like eBay used to be. Okay, when it used to be a real auction site and not just filled with stores now that have this buy now prices. Our Tradera is kind of turned into that too. Samuel, you probably know about that too, how it's turned into that. But I can get one there, and I could probably land an iPad Pro 11 from 2018 for about between 750 and 800 euros. That's a fair price, especially when most of these iPads that they're selling are between 7 months, 8 months, and 4 months old. They just purchased them. The new iPad comes out. Oh, they want to get the new one. They're selling this one. Many of those auctions out. Okay, so what do I get for that? Well, I get an iPad with 256 gigabytes of RAM. I need the more RAM. Now, if I decide to get a new one, I'm gonna pay more, and I'm gonna get for 1,000 euros. I'm gonna get 128 gigabytes of RAM. So, is it worth it for me to buy a new one for more money with less RAM? Because in that case, I'm getting the LiDAR camera. I'm getting 6 gigabytes of RAM instead of 4, and that's it. Is it worth for me? Well, size-wise, no, it's not worth for me. I need way more space. If I had the money, oh, believe me, if I had the money, I would buy a 1 terabyte iPad. I would buy a 1 terabyte iPad, no problem. And I would fill up that space with my video projects, being able to work on multiple projects in a year, easily. So, that's why I'm still looking at the 2018 model. Now, if I get the new one, I get the LiDAR camera, less space, and I also get 2 gigabyte more of RAM that I'm not sure I'll be using. Some of you said that they're upgrading and doing something with the with iOS, so maybe in the future, yeah, I get it. And also it will hold for more years in the future. It will last me longer because of that extra 2 gigabytes of RAM, because they might actually do something about it. Plus, it's completely new, and so not only do I what else? All right. So insurance on it is a little bit longer because it's new from the factory. Plus, I can also engrave it. I've actually done that before. I have engraved one. I'll show you. So right there, it's very hard to see, but it says, I finger my surface a lot. Jakob haQ, aka haQ Attack. And I did that when I bought this iPad Mini 2 new, brand new. And it was amazing, actually, to do that. But is that really gonna be worth it? I don't know. Another thing is, do I need cellular or anything like that? No, I don't. I really don't need cellular. And someone is pointing out here, probably, as I'm glancing, that it's the cellular, the Wi-Fi only ones that go for about 1,000 euros or something like that. If you get a cellular one, you're gonna pay more. Now, after all of that, I think for me, since I have so little money, I think I'm gonna have to try to get oh, my throat. I've been recording narration all day, and so I'm really tired in my throat. Really sorry for that. In my case, I think I'm gonna have to go for an older iPad Pro. Now, the thing that makes me doubt this is the screen size. Okay? I have been working constantly with the 12.9 inch. And the 11 inch, it is not that much smaller. In fact, I've checked it out. So I'll show you this. This is the Korg Nano Control. Let me do this a little bit. The Korg Nano Control, and the 11-inch iPad is as wide as this one. All right? So you can see where it kind of ends there. So this is kind of as wide as an 11 inch. It's not as high, but it's got that height. And that screen space is probably enough for me. It is probably enough. However, there is an issue with that for me, because I also want the highest resolution. You have seen my videos. You know how much screen recording I do. And when it comes to the resolution of these two, there is a big difference there. So let's have a look at that. Where is it? Let's go at the differences. And where is it? The screen? No? Oh, these are the 11. Okay. Here. Yeah, there we go. Differences. Check it out. Check it out. Okay. So this is the 11 inch, and it gives us basic. Okay, for me they're written it in reverse because I don't hold my iPad like in portrait mode. I hold it in landscape. So it's 2,388 pixels wide and it's 1,668 high. While the iPad Pro 12.9 is 2,732 pixels wide and 2,048 high, just like this one here, the resolution. And I'll tell you right away that I'd prefer that because I've noticed something really weird with the color on these different iPads when you're recording and taking screenshot of apps and the colors that they end up being because of the resolution somehow. Like with my iPad Mini 2, the color is so different on the apps when I do screen recordings and snapshots with this one. And I don't like the way it looks. And I always have to kind of color correct it a bit. And I don't have to do that with the 12.9 inch, for instance. And I think that that's actually going to be an issue for me. Simply because I'm making so many videos and recording stuff, and I can't have something like that irk me all the time. Many would say, hey Jacob, that's not a big difference. You run your videos at 1080p anyway. Yeah, I know, but the color difference just irks me. It's as if you would be using a guitar that has a creaky noise to it all the time. You'll keep hearing it even if when you're really ripping that thing and you're playing like really rough rock or death metal on it, you can't really hear it, but you know it's there, and as soon as you stay off that and you start doing ballads on stage, you keep hearing that creak. And that's the way I feel about it. So in this case, maybe I should go for the 12.9 inch. But now we're talking more money. Way more money. How do I decide, everyone? What do you think I should do? What would you do in my shoes? Either way, I'm gonna have to save 4 months. I've already been saving because it takes ages for me to do that. And I've started saving last year, but then I had to get some upgrades like new lights and some arms for my microphones, and I've even gotten something for I've gotten some stuff. And even though I'm just buying some USB cables and stuff like that, it's still costing me money, and that goes from the iPad pool, and so I haven't been able to buy one, right? Samuel Lindemann says, wait for the next. Healing Heart, hey, hello there. 12.9 is good, 256 is fine, just get an external SSD. Got an 11 but needed more screen space. Literally never understood cellular modules. Just put ditto. I never get cellular. If I need to get online away from Wi-Fi, I hotspot from my phone. Yeah, I do that too. Hotspotting from this is perfect, especially when I'm working in the field. By the way, in my last video, I want to thank all of you who came and commented there. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And thank you for 30,000 subs. Most people seem to have been worried that maybe I was too worried, because whenever I'm bad with, what do you call it? Is it sarcasm, or I deal a lot with deprecation. I try to I don't know what I'm trying to say. I try to, whenever I'm on screen, I try to offer myself to the audience. And so if I do something stupid, I'll keep it in. If I have stupid thoughts that I find stupid, I'll keep it in. I want to show people that I'm just human, and I could literally be nobody. I would be nobody without you watching me, right? I mean, we all know that. I'm not. I don't have this kind of God complex thinking that I'm the most important creature on YouTube. I know how little I am on this planet and in the grand scheme of things. I know, so I'm humble into that. But I just try to keep myself humble by also showing myself when I'm stupid. And one of the main points of the video yesterday was actually, this is actually the first type of clickbait I've ever made, real clickbait. The real main goal of the video was to thank all of you for 30k subs. But I don't think that message went through that well because I'm so bad with what is it? Sarcasm? It's not cynicism. Is it sarcasm? I was trying to joke. I was trying to joke that I'm very worried about the stats. I'm not though. I mean, sure, the drop was a steeper in views for those of you who are wondering what I'm talking about, but the drop is right there where it should be and always is every year around this time. It's right there. It's a bit steeper, but now we have C19 in the world. People have been cooped up for ages. My partner, she told me this like before I made that video, and then I talked to Kaiaras, the developer. We become really close friends, and he said, "Jacob, why don't you make a video about this? That could be fun." And I did, but I really just wanted to thank you for the subs, and a lot of people just want to reassure me that I'm going the right way. And you know what? That's one of the nicest thing you could have done for me. I read so many heartwarming comments yesterday. I was overloaded. Don't know how to deal with that. And I have a wonderful audience. Now there were some comments from people saying, "Hey, I hate Paper Jacob." The worst thing I know is when he swirls around. That's okay, you know. I can't please everyone. I love reading those too because I know what it is to be annoyed at content. There are YouTubers out there I don't watch anymore because I've grown out of it, you know? That just happens to all of us. But that you're still here, it's just off topic, but it needed to be said. Yeah? Thank you. Let's see here. Hello, Joe. Joe, is that Joe or Joe? Joe? Which one of the Joes are you? Are you the Woods Joe or Joe? Samuel, I know that you and many others miss Ami, but considering the type of emails I used to get from a very select group of people who seem to be very butthurt over me making fun of a god character, I just wanted to stay away from that whole ordeal, and that's why I stopped using it. Because I don't want to turn the channel into a religious thing. That I'm so far away from that. I'm a musician first and foremost, and nothing else. That's it. I'm a human and I'm a musician, and sure, we all have political thoughts, but every time that discussion happens, I never seem to like the discussion, no matter what. Like, it doesn't matter to me if people are agreeing with me or disagreeing with me. It's just a discussion I don't want to have when we're on a music channel. If we're someone else, I don't have a problem with that. If we're outside of that, not talking music, I don't have a problem with that. So Ami is probably not. It's probably not gonna come back. Not as Ami. Maybe it's something else. But if I'm gonna have to deal with people feeling that their God is too weak, that I can't make fun of. What am I even making fun of? I'm not even making fun of a god. It's so stupid. It's so silly. But if that's the way they feel, just I can't. I can't. I've had too many bad experiences in my life with people who are maybe a bit overly religious and just coming crashing down on me. I have a bad history with that. No, there's nothing wrong with people being religious. It's when I don't get to be me just because maybe I'm not religious. That's what I have a problem with. Jacob, your fans will fund an iPad for you. I would never ask you to do that. The funding for an iPad happens already through YouTube revenue, even if it is extremely low, while it's taking long time. So when you're watching my videos, you're already helping me, and for my patrons, you're also already helping me in that. I wouldn't ask for more. I couldn't, and I mean. Like I said, I'm not a special person. I'm just like you or anyone else. I can be extremely dumb sometimes. I'm not calling you dumb, but you know what I mean. I can be dumb, I can be smart. I can be all these things. I can be an asshole. I have been an asshole most of my life. I'm just trying not to live as an asshole, and I wouldn't ask for anything more than I'm already given. I think that whatever I get, I deserve. So you see what I mean? If I deserve something, it's because I did something, okay? So I just try to give and I receive. And that's pretty much how I want to live life. And I'm not going to ask for more than that. I'm already asking enough when I say, if you want to help me financially, you have these links. And the reason to why I talk so little about it nowadays, I don't really go on and on about it, it's because of that. Like, it's your choice. It's, you see what I don't want to make that into a thing. If you're watching my videos, if you sometimes watch an ad, you are funding me. If you're pressing the thumbs up, you are funding me. If you're sharing my videos, you are funding me. Because all of that will lead to some other work, you know? And there are already some other talks, you know? I've been looking for someone to sponsor my videos and my show. And so far, I've turned a lot of people down because I haven't found anything I like yet. And it has to make sense, not only for me, for my viewers. And that's something I want to talk to you about, all of you, on the main channel sometimes, because I just realized that I don't know what would make sense to you. A friend and mentor in life told me that, Jacob, why are you seriously going to turn down every opportunity you get? Because he heard me talk about, in one live stream, he heard me say that a company contacted me and wanted me to sell glasses for them. And I said, why would I do that? It makes no sense on my music channel. And he said, like, are you so full of yourself that you really think that your viewers, some of them doesn't wear glasses? Is it, like, are you serious now? And that kind of made me think. And yeah, I still gonna have to talk to my audience about that, because really, I want everybody to be okay with it. I know that it's my decision, but all we're doing is like a community anyway, right? So in my case, I feel like that's how I run my game. I get to run my game any way I want. And if I want to ask my viewers if that's okay, then I get to do that. We are all less assholes. Don't even wear a mask on screen. It's reverse burqa. Jacob, your fans will find... Oh, there, I've read that. We're all more or less assholes. Some just show it. Lol. Oh, God. The difference on an iPad fund is that people really know where the money is used for and that they will feel useful. Sasha, yeah, of course, I get that. You can see exactly where the money is going for. Another thing is that I've been watching content where people just go in and rip on people that ask for stuff like this. And I've seen the backlash from that. Like, they think that, God, I really should talk about this about my channel. I don't know how often I get emails or comments from people calling me greedy or telling me that I am greedy or that I'm only doing stuff for money, when they have no idea that I'm not getting paid for doing stuff. And when they have no idea that even if I put 70 hours into doing a video, in the end I make $10 off that video if I get a good amount of views. And for me and my channel, a good amount of views on a 70-hour productive video, that would be about between 7,000 and 10,000 views. Right? And I do not litter my videos with ads. I know we're so off topic. I'm going to have to make timestamps so people know that they can skip all of this if they want. We still haven't finished up talking about the iPads really, but I think we've gone into what it is that I've been thinking about. And if I had to decide now because of money, I would probably get the older iPad 11 because saves money and I would be able to get that quicker. Much quicker. But I really do want the 12.9 inch, so it looks as if I'm gonna most likely wait a little bit longer. And as Samuel says, maybe wait for the newer ones. Yeah, money wise, I just have to get this on my channel now because the USB-C port has been out for too long without me saying anything about it. It's just way too long, and I really need to fill that need for some people. What that means is that my videos will still be as usual, only this time I can now say I've tried this with USB-C, I tried this with Lightning, and here's the deal. when we get something for free, we don't get the same connection with the stuff. There's no better feeling than getting stuff with the cash you've earned. You didn't ask. We were offering this in the chat. Big difference. You haven't asked. We want to give. I don't even know how I would do this. I don't even know how I would set this up. Like seriously, to considering how much I had to think about the Patreon thing before I even started that. This is also something I'm gonna have to think about and get like feel okay with. And I would have to think about something else because if an iPad gets funded for this channel by the audience, then I think also the audience should be able to request something specific from that. All right, request specific videos, kind of like some people. Yes, some people are doing that. I know that they are doing that, but I would have to think about that. And yeah, I kind of need the help from the community itself because I just cannot. I can't. I can't. I can't. I have a hard time doing it. It's silly. It's silly because I've gotten. Yeah. For now, I'm just gonna change the subject so that I can have the stream go on for a little bit, get more interesting. Or I don't know. What are you going to talk about? I mean, regarding iPads, new iPads and stuff. By the way, I've already decided that for the next stream, if you are interested, I know that Healing Heart, I think you've been asking for it. I will be making a stream where I actually build a live set in AUM for something kind of like the Cyberpunk thing, because that for me is a little bit easier than if I want to set up a 4 on the floor track, because I need a lot of side compression and stuff for that. For something like the Cyberpunk track, you can get a lot of motion and a lot of sound, a lot of audio done with just a few plugins. And yeah, basically that's what I'm thinking. So I will be doing some AUM stuff and some things, because I have been getting comments from people saying, why are you using AUM and you can't make full tracks with AUM? I've had people say that to me in real life. Oh, I know iOS is good, but you can't make full tracks. And they don't realize that they're standing there talking to the person who does that like all the time. Produce full tracks, produce the videos, produce everything I produce is on these things. And so you're just wrong. It just happens to be that I do. It's weird. I want to show people how you do it with AUM. So since some of you have been asking about it, yeah, I think a live stream is good for that, because you actually get to show the real process of doing that. Just let the love in, Jacob. I request that you continue to be who you are. It's business. You're really creating something special on your main channel and here. No problem at all with the monetization. Come on, Jacob, we want to fund you. Okay, so someone mentioned I have a PayPal donate link down there. And so if you want to, then you have that PayPal me link. I think it's working. I'm gonna look. I'm gonna look. Someone told me that I've been using the wrong link, but I think it's the PayPal donate link. I'm just trying to load it up. Yeah, so in the description there is, and it looks like it is working. Yeah, okay. In the description there is a PayPal donate me link. And so if you want to, and everyone who does that, you will of course be highlighted in my video. If you want that, of course, if you want that. I wouldn't just put your picture and blast you out if you didn't want to. But if you donate anything, doesn't matter what it is, just if you want to. That's as far as I can go with this. And yeah, that's it. I already have a little bit money saved, maybe like I think it's like half of it or something. If I get which is it, the iPad 11? I think yeah. So I will push that money into there too. If we're doing this, we're doing it together, and yeah, because that's what this channel has been. This channel too, but the main channel has been that. We've always been doing it together. I'm I know that. You be I do value my community, Enrique. Am I saying your name, Enrique Rafael? I'm unsure how you read the G there in your, but it's Perez, isn't it? I want to thank you so much. Whatever. I don't care how little or how much it is. I just thank you anyway. It's just everything I've been doing here on this channel has been by the grace of the audience. So when people ask me like, "Do you love your audience?" I have nothing without my audience. What do you think? Like, who would I be talking to if you weren't here right now? I would be that miserable little shit I've been most of my life, thinking I used to be a person who thought that my all of my faults, like everything that was bad in my life, was everyone else's fault. I was a miserable little shit, and I wasn't really thanking anyone else around me for everything they did for me. That because I couldn't see it, I was so focused on what I did. Of course, I love my audience. I've come to see what people do with the comments, with the likes, sharing my videos, contacting me, telling me when they think that I'm doing something wrong or something right. When people engage, that's reason enough for me to at least start listening, right? And I wouldn't really know what to do all the time if I didn't listen. Someone asked me yesterday if I do request, and I was gonna say not really, but then again, what do I do every day? I go online, I search for people having problems, and then I try to solve it. When I find that enough people are having the same problem, I try to make a video about it. And there you go. So it's a request of sorts, and sometimes people make a request that is so easy for me to show that I'll just do it in a 1 minute video on Instagram, and there you go. And suddenly I've helped out maybe 10 people, and that feels great. And then those 10 people are helping someone else. It's just moving it forward. The only way that I've always thought that this world was shit. Okay, that's the way I saw this world. Like it's full of shit. But because I couldn't see what was good in it, and I still have a problem sometimes highlighting that because maybe I spend too much time looking at negative posts and stuff. And I'm not talking about posts online being critical of stuff. Critical is okay, criticizing stuff is okay. It's the only way we can move forward. If people didn't criticize me at least once a month, I maybe I would let everything go, above my head, and I wouldn't look at what I'm doing. I wouldn't be able to admit my mistakes and stuff. But thanks to people trying to help me and guide me right, it's how we build the world better. And that's what I learned, that I can't just look at the world and think that it is shit, because I am the world, and I'm not the world, I'm part of that world too, and whatever I do affects it. So if I affect 5 people, then those 5 people will affect another 10 people. If I'm a sauerkraut towards someone, if I'm being sour towards if I'm being salty towards someone, sorry, if I'm being salty, then maybe that person might be salty to another person, and then maybe that person, will be salty to someone else, and suddenly I'm spreading negativity around me, and that's not good. That's not good. So trying to be nice is, it can be hard, very hard, but it's worth trying. Yeah, we know, whatever. Uncle Tom, you have the best. You do the best tweets on YouTube. It's half French, half Spanish. That's nice. I'm mixed too, man. I'm very mixed. It's like a half Swedish and half Ugandan or Pakistan, because it turns out my dad, even though he's black, but he's also mixed. So it's a big mashup, and yeah, that's That's just the world, the way of the world, right? I've never paid too much attention to that kind of stuff, myself. I try not to, because I just see people when I look around me. Uh, and yeah, I mean, what defines us is how we act and behave. And yeah, I just don't want to be defined as an asshole. Sometimes, in the past, looking back, it's just, I laugh and I'm happy I could do that, but still, some of the stuff, ugh, I've had to pay for a lot of stuff. And that's just the way it is. Part of growing up, taking responsibility for your actions, baby. I've been like a child a lot of my life, and I'm still like a child in my videos. I mean, I dance around. I'm a 41-year-old dude, and I just dance around. I'm balding, like I'm getting older. My knees are starting to do a little noise now and again. Like my father, he started complaining about his knee, when he got in his 40s. Now I'm there. And I don't have a problem with growing old. I just have a problem with letting go of my childhood or being a child, because that's when I'm most creative. Maybe a lot of you could identify yourself in that. I don't know. I'm just thinking that a lot of my viewers are thinking creative people, and usually we have childish imaginations. I think the older we get, the more doubtful we are. It's nice to be nice. It's all in the mind. Be right back. I'm just trying to be humble, man. And thank you for that, Stoneware. If you're still here, thank you. By the way, yesterday, talking about something, about feeling humility, I saw a video from a fellow YouTuber named Brandon Rico Simpson. He's got an iOS YouTube channel, and he does beat making, and the guy can play. I get so jealous of him and his growth. He's been growing faster than me, and you know what? He deserves all of it. He makes amazing music. He's an amazing musician, one of the best beat makers out there. And it's just, when he sits down and play, I just watch his stream. I don't type in chat. I just watch him. I just watch him do his stuff. And he just lost his job, and we know why that is now, around these times, C19 and everything. And that is rough. And he says some really good things in his video. So I'm just gonna bring it up real quick. I think we can do that. We've been talking about the iPads. I mean, in the future, let's do that. Let's do the first hour, or at least we do the topic I've written down in the title, and then we just get to talk to whatever we want to talk to. Okay? You can decide what the topic can be. I just find that that's more interesting. Oh, Gaz is having a live stream right now. I usually watch Gaz Williams, if you know who that is. Let's see here. I'm gonna find Brandon Rico Simpson. Brandon Rico. Brandon Rico. You type it together. Simpson. He's made a. It's horrible because he lost his job, but he really made a gorgeous looking thumbnail here. The iPad that won, it looks as if it could be the iPad Pro 11-inch, but I really do want the 12.9-inch. I know what I want.
Okay, I wasn't going to talk about this, or I wasn't even going to share this, but I figured I'd share this in hopes that I help somebody who may be going through the same thing or something similar. I don't know. Basically, I lost my job.
And that's all I'm gonna play, because I'm not a reaction channel. And and I do suggest you go and watch it because this is heartfelt. It's a good video. He has some really good advice. He says some really good stuff. I do recommend watching Brandon Rico Simpson because he's just amazing. He's growing faster than me. When I found him, he didn't have that many subscribers, and in just a year, he already has almost 20,000 subs. I hope you get many more, Brandon, and I do feel for you, and I'm sorry you lost your job, but you're smart, you're good at what you do, you'll find a way out of it. I know you will. And anyone that goes over there, send him some love, and if any one of you have lost your job, you might have some advice or something to give him. Or if you're afraid of losing your job right now because of C-19, then you can listen to Brandon Rico Simpson talk about it and what that feels like and what to expect or something like that. Either way, it's some helpful stuff in there. Really do respect Brandon Rico and what he did in that video. So yeah, like anyone who is joining up right now, we have been talking about iPads. We've been talking about life and talking about assholery. And also people in chat have suggested donating money to me for this, which I was very reluctant to. But you have the option of the PayPal thing if you want. I will be pushing my own money towards that because we're doing this as a community, like we've been doing it on both channels now for all time. And someone did ask which one did win, and what I want is the Apple iPad Pro 12.9 inch, the new one. And what I've decided to get was the 11 one because I would be able to get that one quicker. But yeah, I really do want the 12.9, but the 11 one seems like a real banger too. It's got the same camera as this one. It's the same RAM and everything. The only really big difference between them is the screen size, and it also looks as if, it looks like everything else is the same, the same battery time, the same everything. Because there is one thing we have not talked, and that is peripherals. Well, we have talked, but what else do you need when you get a new iPad? One thing I always get for my stuff is some way of protecting it, because I cannot risk having an expensive thing like this break. And so I usually get protective glass, and I get some kind of a case or folio or something. I have that for all of my iPads. I don't have a folio or anything for the phones, because on the phones I just use a protective cover, like a clear cover thing, glass or something. And glass is really good because when that breaks, usually the glass takes the damage and spreads out the damage, and so the kinetic energy doesn't really penetrate too far unless you've really been throwing your phone into the wall, which I never do. I have never ever cracked a screen in my life when it comes to anything. I haven't even cracked a window, but I break cups, I break glasses every day, and that's because I'm clumsy. But when it comes to these things, I treat them like as if they were my babies or my little puppies or something. I take care of them. Hold on, I think I have. What? Okay, I get it, Healing Heart. I get it. Don't worry. I will be getting that one. That one won. Finally, that one. iPad Pro 12.9 inch won. It won. Alright? That's the one that won. It's the one. Keeping the inner child is what keeps us alive. How many iDevices do all of you have by now? It's starting to feel like we're collecting these as trading cards. I used to play this game called Magic the Gathering, and I've gotten rid of a lot of my cards, but I still have a whole deck left. Maybe that doesn't interest you, but I am that kind of a nerd. I used to play pen and paper dragons, Dungeons and Dragons, Mutant Chronicles, board games. I'm a nerd. I'm a true and utter nerd in every possible way, shape, or form. Way, shape, and form. Mm. Dishwashing. Dishwashing? Three stig. Am I three stig? Am I am I missing something here? Am I missing a joke about the dishwashing? I might be, I might be missing something here. The iPad Pro 12.9. Yeah, it's a pretty hot device, and I have yeah, I've been talking with so many developers about the future of iOS and things, and it's looking interesting, considering the tech and what developers might be able to do in the future. But it also looks hard, to keep it up. It looks hard. I'm thinking about these developers who have put out. Look at Paul, the music man. How many apps has he put out this year alone? I mean, he makes some seriously awesome stuff. Four pockets. Four pockets. Look at people like Audio Damage. Those are two guys, by the way. I don't know. I think Paul is alone when he does it. Brambos is alone. Beep Street is alone. Kaiaras is alone. Um, who more? Oh my God, there's so many. There's so many developers out there. Many of them are alone. The Bliss guys are basically two guys now doing it, and they're putting out steady amount of app. And you know what I am? I'm so happy to see that the Bliss guys are really growing and that people are taking a liking to them again, because they had that little mishap that they probably don't want me to talk about when they were new to iOS and didn't really know exactly how the market worked and the way we were used to buying apps and stuff like that. I'm so happy to see that they're finally growing and they're doing some stuff, and I will be featuring some of their more of their apps. As soon as I got some time. I have been reading some comments about people not complaining, but mentioning that maybe some longer videos are too long. And I've always been making and mixing up long and short videos on the main channel. If you look back, this year alone, I've made a mix. I have some videos about 4 minutes, and the longest one being 45 minutes, and in between I got 60 minutes, 70 minutes, 10 minutes, 12 minutes, 40 minutes. So I'm always mixing it up, and right now I'm working on a video that is going to be like maybe 10 minutes long at the tops, and there's a little surprise in there too. But I needed something shorter to work on, a few shorter, before I get ready with the big shimmer video. I hope Audio Damage gives some attention to Rough Rider 3. Can't save any presets. Oh, I've had a few. That's the problem right there. I mean, think about it. When you keep on putting out new apps all the time, more apps, because you kind of have to in order to stay alive, to stay afloat, to make money, you have to earn your trade, right? When you're doing that, you also add another one that you need to take care of. And so suddenly, even though you don't want to, because I know these people they don't want to neglect anything, but it just happens because you're now working, the date when you put out this one is going further back, right? And you're moving ahead and you're putting out new ones, and suddenly you haven't made any updates on that old one, and stuff is starting to happen with it. So, I mean, Rough Rider was recently updated. They had Rough Rider 2 for quite some time before they did Rough Rider 3. And there were some issues with Rough Rider 2 too. 2. And, yeah, I mean, that's a thing. It's about sustainability, right? We're talking sustainability here. How many apps can you sustain? Kaiaras told me that even if you put out a lot of apps, you might, for instance, not have to, make newer ones all the time, because some of them you can turn into version 2, for instance. Instead of putting out a completely new reverb, you take the reverb you have, you make it better, you release it at version 2, and I'm okay with that too. I mean, I'm used to it since desktop, and many people are doing it on iOS too. That's also a way of doing it, right? And that way you're not adding another one you need to you have an upkeep on when it comes to updates and stuff, but it's kind of hard. I wish Audio Damage would bring Quanta to iPhone. You're talking about the is it the wavetable synths? Or is it the I think it is, right? The wavetable synthesizer. I think it is the wavetable waveshaper synthesizer. Am I thinking wrong? No, it's the granular synth one. It's the granular synth one. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I haven't been able to run that one on my iPad properly because it's slow. And that's one thing I'm wondering. Am I now gonna be able to review that app properly? Because that is why I haven't reviewed it. Because it's running slow on my iPad. I'm getting a lot of lag even when I set down the lag time, you know. I'm still getting some lag and some of the elements are slow. I didn't understand if it was like iOS or something. I've tried many things, you know, with it, just reinstalling it, waiting for a newer iOS, and it didn't really fix it. And then Audio Damage did put up an update that made it go faster because they knew that the interface was kind of jerky. But that didn't help me. It didn't help my iPad. I saw that some people said it helped them, and I'm wondering if they're using new iPads. I can't say. I want to be able to talk about these things. Granular. Thank you for confirming that, all of you. It runs faster as AUV3. You know, when you say that, I think I've been running it mostly as standalone. See? Where would I be without you if you didn't tell me these things? You know, the most basic stuff sometimes I just get wrong because it's impossible for me to think about all the things, but something like that should be in my standard routine. So I'm gonna go back to my standard routine paper and write that down. Make sure you always try all the formats. Maybe wait for the new iPad Air. Sion, you have a, don't you have a, am I thinking wrong here, Sion? Don't you have a channel too, a YouTube channel? I think you do. If you do I have you down in my link description? If I don't, then maybe you wanna, you know, link that in here so I can add it. If you are the one I'm thinking about. If you're not, then I apologize. But yeah. Oh yeah, the iPad Airs, aren't they very different from the Pros? What's the latest iPad Air? Is it the iPad 10? Wait. iPad Air. Let's see here. iPad Air. The latest one. Is that the one? So, okay, so the latest one right now is from 2019, but they're actually working on a new one. Is that what you're trying to say? Let's compare some differences here. So if we look at, the one thing I want to look at is the, here we go. Here we go. Okay, so the 2019 model iPad Air, they're using an A12, but this one is a hexa-core, so it's got 6 cores and not 8. So the new one will, I'm guessing it will have like an L12, an A12Z or something like that. With an octa-core, like 8 processors in there. I'm thinking that probably. But usually the iPad Air, don't they have like less RAM in those? I thought they. What does it say? 3 gigabytes of RAM on that one. Yeah, I mean, if they make that new and they do give it an octa-core, I'm thinking they might be giving them 4 gigabytes of RAM. Maybe? Is it? Do they? Do you have? Anyone have any ideas when they come out? 10.5. Both Continua and Quanta are so slow that as standalone on iPad Air 2, but work well as AV3. Thank you, Samuel. I'll be sure to test that out. Okay. Okay, I'll definitely check that out because Audio Damage makes some of the best apps out there. Absolutely, they're always on my top tier. And even though, you know, Chris from Audio Damage, they're two guys, right? So Chris, he sends me codes, and he sends them on Twitter, and I forget to check Twitter DMs and stuff like that. I always check my email, and I tell these people send it to there, and of course they're gonna forget. And so when I find it, the code is always too old, and then I get the thing, and then I'm working on something and I forget to review it, or maybe I don't have time to look at it right then and there. That's why I've been thinking about some kind of a format that doesn't take that much time to make, so I can get a little bit more content out. Because I want to be able to get out at least a video per week, and sometimes that hasn't worked. So yeah, I'm looking into that. And when it comes to synthesizers, it's very hard for me to do any kind of light look at them, even though you probably could. I mean, I'm not a preset playing channel. I don't play well. That's why I never wanted to be like that. But maybe I can do something else. I can find a format, like, does this sequence or does this do something, something like that. I need some kind of format to make a bit shorter videos, about 5 minutes long, that I can push out in one day and not more, so I can focus on making some other deeper videos. Oh, so you do okay, you are the person that I'm thinking about that has that YouTube link, right? Sion, just paste your link. I hope you can. Try to paste your link. Write, here's my link, and then paste your link, your YouTube channel link, in the comment section. And I'll make sure to put that into my box later on. Uncle Tom, what did you post to iPad Musician? What did you do? Hard to steal Mr. PVM's cult branding. Hello everybody, Jim Shannon. What's up, Jim Shannon? What's up? What are you doing? What's cooking? What are you doing right now? Where have you been? Did you just come from work? Let's see here. Alright. My iPad Mini 2 is super old. And Enrique, if you're still here, what is your main device? Is your main device the old device, or do you have anything else at the moment? I know that like iPads, they cost very different in different parts of the world, and some parts of the world have a hard time getting used ones shipped to them, and I think that's a huge problem, because sometimes it would be good if everyone could be, have an opportunity to get a used one to get started with or something, because some of the used ones are actually useful. I still use mine, even though my iPad Mini 1 basically is being used as a pip camera right now. It's still very useful to me, and when I did my last like iPad performance with let me look for that. I mean, I do loads of stuff with my older iPads and stuff. And now my girlfriend, hey, my girlfriend, she doesn't like it when I say girlfriend. I get that. We're old, so maybe that's why. But I just called my girlfriend old. I just called her girlfriend again. Oh no. Okay. If she's listening, there's gonna be hell to pay. Maybe. No, she's a sweetheart. My partner, she got a new iPhone. And you know what she got? She got a used iPhone 6. Because she couldn't go without the headphone jack. That's why. Basically. So now I have her old iPhone. It's an iPhone 5. And I'm gonna be using that for some stuff too. It would be nice to have like a control surface on there. Just a MIDI controller or something. Let's see here. Yeah, there we go. I think is that it? Wait, isn't that it? Why am I not finding that one? Is that... Come on now. I can't find it. I don't know why I can't find it. This is weird. I mean, it's not that long ago that I did that video. What was it? Like, I think it was the beginning of this year or something. It's gotta be here. In it, I'm using all of my 4 iPads to perform. Oh, there it is. It's called a 4 times figure jam. If you haven't seen it,
Hello and welcome to haQ.
that's not it. That's the wrong one. That's the right one. Yeah. 4 iPads. Have y'all seen this one? Yeah, so I mean, basically, it's a performance of 4 iPads. So iPad Mini 1, Mini 2, the iPad Pro, and then further down here we have the iPhone 6. And now I'm gonna be able to put another iPhone there, an iPhone 5, which can still run Figure. And so I'm just adding devices to there, which is it's kind of it could get messy. But when you're using something like Figure, it's really simple because of the intuitive user interface. You're basically just turning the device into an instrument, and that's how I like using iDevices many times nowadays. It's just that it's not viable for everybody. It's taking me some years to amass that amount of pads, and that's just I mean, it's insane for someone to just start out like this. I wouldn't recommend anyone trying to start like this, but when you've done this some years, you're gonna end up with a row of devices that you're gonna be using for different things, and some of them are gonna turn into cameras basically. But even the old ones, don't throw them out. Use them for something. Alright, so Future Music asks how I synced this up. Okay, so the way I sync this up is by using Ableton Link. And Ableton Link has nothing to do with Ableton itself. You don't need Ableton, you only need Link. It's a protocol that the people over at Ableton has made that will allow you to sync various stuff to one another wirelessly, which is amazing, and you can do it internally, and you've probably seen it before with other apps. And so you go into wherever you find the Ableton Link settings, and so you know what, let's do it right now, let's do it right here. Okay, so I'll show you. And I want to tell you that there's always been, I had $0 on this account, and there's already 11.37 USDs here. So thank you for the donations. Thank you so much. It was 0. It started at 0. I had nothing on there. It stays like that for many long periods of time. And I get the occasional donation, you know, from people who don't want to use Patreon and stuff. So thank you so much for the donation. I'll keep telling you how it looks. And that was, who was that? Who was that? I can see. That's Dimitri. So thank you, Dimitri. Let me show you. That's Dimitri. I don't want to show the whole name because there. I don't want to show the whole name because I don't know if you want that people to see that. But thank you so much, Dimitri. All right, so let's just do the quick sync thing, and I'm gonna use. Okay, please bear with me here. Let me. Do I unplug this? See, this is a problem when you're using apps that have. You know what? Let's use an app that doesn't have a portrait mode only. So we're gonna use Pure Acid. Pure Acid has Link 2, and all you need to do is to make sure that we have Wi-Fi, and I don't think Bluetooth needs to be on. I just turn it on. And then we go to Sync in the corner here, and Ableton Link, and have it enabled. And now I'm gonna open up. Let's see here. Hey, maybe we can do something with this. Let's see. Do I have a little cable? I have a cable. Okay. And let's put that into the phone. I'll put it into the phone like this, so it's there. And I'm opening up Figure. And I'm gonna go into the song page and go to Sync. And any app that has Ableton Link enabling, you can use Ableton Link in. It will have like an Ableton Link menu, and up here it's called Sync, and then Enable Ableton Link, and you just flip the switch. And you see, it already detected that little thing that happened there. It already detected another device, and now they're wirelessly synced and connected. So I've got them all running like this, and what I'm going to do now is I'm gonna turn off the drum channel on this thing. No, I'm gonna run the drum channel, and I'm gonna just make sure I pull down on the bass, and I press play here. And I'm gonna mute the drum here and run the lead, and it's synced, and it's gonna just play back. If you have something to play back, let me load something that can play back. I'm gonna load something that can play back. Let's see here. Can that do it? Is that even connected? It's the wrong one, Jacob. I'm an idiot. Wrong cable. Here's the right cable. Let's see if we can hear anything from this thing though. Are we getting anything in here? Are we not getting any audio? Hello? What's going on? Wait, let me check. Input monitoring. What? Is that the right? Yeah, it is the right cable. And I'm not getting any audio. That is weird. Why though? What's going on here? Oh, it's because I flipped it into... Oh, sorry. I flipped the switch on the side. You see it's red? Now it's on. Okay. Should... No, I'm not getting any audio. But yeah, because that shouldn't do any difference either. What is going on here? Why am I not... This session is failing. This session is failing so hard. Let me just try this. Wait. Figure is giving off no audio. I restart Figure, and now I'm probably getting audio, right? No? No audio? Oh, there we go. Okay, now I have it. I had to restart it. I think something happened to it when we were doing loads of stuff, and I had YouTube going off in the background. So that's probably it. So this one should probably... There we go. Alright. Okay, so they're synced up, and maybe it's... You can see that there's a bar running up there. Right? And that's the Ableton Link sync bar. So if I press play now, it's not going to start playing until it reaches the end. Alright? It's going to play. Hello. Why am I not getting any audio now? Why isn't it playing now? What is going on? Oh, it is playing. So something is wrong along the line. And I'm not getting any audio. So what did I go wrong? Where did I go wrong? Is this one disconnected? Let me just see here. What did I do wrong? I don't get it. This one is connected. I'm sorry, everyone, but this is ridiculous. Okay, so there we go. And they're synced. So, I mean, I didn't really expect it to sound, it sounded pretty good. And this is a completely different song. What the drums actually sound like here, I don't know if I have drums. Do I have drums? Let's check this out. Yeah, it's a heartbeat. Let's just try to mix that up with something else. So I can load another song. This is dangerous because I got some in here that don't sound good at all. So mixing this stuff up is just very bad. I got the Moonbox. Yeah, I did a thing. Let's see here if I have that one. Yeah, that's the one. Okay, so if I wanted to change out the tempo, where do I do that in this one? I can't remember. Oh, that's right. In the where is it? The sequencer. Tempo. If I change the tempo over here now, it changes the tempo of figure. I don't have the bass in here. Well, you can see how easy it gets, you know, when you want to perform. I mean, both are groove boxes kind of things, right? But because of how easy it is to record stuff on the fly and sequence with this thing, I mean, if you sit at home or it's on the bus and you work something out here, you can easily sync it up with your phone and then start playing melodies, record it on the fly and have it synced, and you can do a whole session like that. Believe me, I've done it. I've tried it. It's just nothing quite exists like Figure, and Pure Acid is just the sickest. It's so sick, and that's why I spent I invested a lot of time into the video I made with the Pure Acid one. It's just all I know is that Jim Pavlov he was very happy with my video. I know that at least he really liked that one. Old sticky 2005 keyboard. Jim, I don't have any context, and so I don't know why you wrote that, but it sounds kind of dirty. Are you trying to tell us something here? I like the Mini because I can potentially fit it in a rack, but I like the Pro because it has a large screen. Yeah, I agree. The Mini ones are really awesome when you want to go out and do stuff. Samuel, your laptops were stolen. Oh man. The worst thing with that is that if you have any data, you know, the absolute worst is not getting data or maybe losing photos or something. I hope you are one of those people who really like back up stuff a lot. But that ain't never fun, you know, have stuff stolen from you like that. Future music, I hope you can get something going from this if you're still here. I hope you can get, something, because man, it's just so fun doing this stuff. And I want to do stuff like this too, live. Just build sets and show you how I would perform. And stuff like this I can just do on a fly, because I've been living with Figure. Figure has been like an extension of me for ever since it came out, and actually costed $1. Back when it was new, it costed $1 to buy, and now it's free, basically. And they have changed it, so even though it's free, you have to do one of those stupid logins where you have to, you have an account. It's free. Yeah, yeah, I know it's free. I know it's free. I know it's not free, really, because every company out there in the world wants to data mine you in some way, and or at least have you on a list so they can push out updates to you and say, hey, we got sales and stuff. I get it. You want to survive. I get it. It's just that I don't know why I'm complaining. I mean, you only do it once, right? Unless you have a 16 gigabyte device with only 1 gigabyte left of memory, and you always need that space, so you keep deleting apps, and then when you want to install something, you have to redo the login thing. Yeah, it's a nuisance. It's an annoyance at the most, at least. But the experience of Figure is worth it. Encrypted backups and keys on the laptop, so I lost a bunch. Oh god, that hurts, man. That really hurts. I had a big crash myself many years ago, but like it's not like nothing was stolen from me. It's not at all that. What happened was that I had heard my hard drives tick a lot. People, this is why you don't buy used hard drives. That can be dangerous things, because you never know how they've been running. And yeah, and when a hard drive ticks, like it does this suddenly for no reason when it's not reading, there's something wrong with it. And then one day it just would not read at all. And I went to a company, and they wanted the amount of money they want for trying to retrieve data was way too much. That hard drive, I think it's still in the box somewhere, and I don't care about the data on it now, but I couldn't access it anymore. So I know the feeling of having to get to terms with losing something, especially when it's a lot of stuff. I feel for you, man. I'm sorry that happened. I make a fake email for them to mine that. Yeah, Sion, I do that for some things, but for some things I can't, because maybe sometimes I'm in contact with the developer, and they need me to test out something specific, and then when I use the real account I have, they know exactly who I am and who to push certain stuff to, so that I can test stuff instantly. And sometimes I build patches. I haven't done that in a while now, but sometimes I build patches and presets and sound banks for apps, and so it's easier for me to use the real one. But if there's anything else I need to do online, believe me, I've got fake accounts to deal with that, because just some stuff are just uh, you know. Hard drives have two states: working and waiting to stop working. Yeah, okay. Oh my god, that happened to me, and I lost like 30 gigs of pics. Oh, oh, that hurts. Yeah, I had a neighbor who had something similar happen to them. Like all of the pics from the children from years 7 up to 13, gone, completely gone, all of them, like several years. It's just horrible. It's horrible. You never get them back. It's the same. I saw this video about people losing their homes and stuff, when they had like tornadoes and going on down in somewhere in the US. I can't remember exactly where. And one thing that this company did was it Fujicolor or something? I don't know. But they went in there trying to help people restore their actual photos and stuff. I know how important photos are to people. And that is never easy to lose, especially if there are family members who are gone maybe or something. I get that completely. Even when my father came over here, stuff happened in their home country that made them have to go away because of some racism stuff. And on the way, they lost a lot of their, like, the photos and everything. And I get what that means to people. I'm sorry that happened to you, man. Water. I keep drinking an empty glass of tea. All right, so we've been over this all. Gone into the topic of iPad. The iPad Pro 12.9 inch won. It won the deal. That's the one I want to get. But to anyone looking to save money, I would say that a 2011 one is viable. Very viable. Very doable, very viable. And go check out the video from Henny the Business. That's the one he wanted to try out, and he did, and he likes it. And many others tell me that. And if you need to save money even more, then getting a 2018 11 or 12.9 inch is not bad either. You're able to save some money, and at the same time you're paying less and getting double the space usually. Or at least if you're paying the same, you still get double the space. So if you get a new one at 128, you can get the older one for 256. The only thing you need to think about is you're not getting that souped up camera with the LiDAR LiDAR technology in there. If that's important to you, then you want to go for the big one, for the new one. And the other thing is that the older ones have 4 gigabytes of RAM and the new ones have 6 gigabytes of RAM. So not, there are big differences, but yeah, not doesn't make a big difference right now. The LiDAR thing is the thing that makes a difference if you're into that. I had literally just downloaded them to the computer to back them up and deleted them from my iCloud. Oh, that sucks. That really sucks. I started using Google Photos to back up my photos, unlimited secure to my account. Yeah, I thought about using some other cloud things for my photos, but I have I have 3 hard drives here. 2 older ones. I have flash drives, USB memory sticks. I have them on so many spaces, and I do like storing stuff on flash drives and USB flash drives. Usually, you can store them for pretty long without anything happen to them. So yeah, I do that, and sometimes I'll buy a bigger one, a bigger memory stick. You know, when they get on sale, I'll go and buy more of them, like 2 instead of just being able to buy one. Just to maximize the little money you have, just trying to maximize it. I wait until memories go cheap, and usually when they go cheap, they're also increasing in size and space. So I go get a new one, I'll move all the photos over, and I just keep doing that. And yeah, so photos I do have saved, but when it comes to the music stuff I have on here, it's basically just iCloud and OneDrive. That's it. And it still scares me having to lose stuff. You know, I have had to get accustomed to removing the stuff I record and put on my iPad. Of course, I have grown accustomed to that because I am always, you know, decked for space. I'm always low on space. But yeah, I'll be getting it for the LiDAR. You're into LiDAR stuff, Sion? I might be into stuff like that. I just don't know, maybe. I don't know what I would use it for, really. Yeah, Dropbox. Dropbox works. I do have a few free Dropbox accounts, actually. I lost all my 6 months India trip photos. Ooh, my mind created detailed pictures now, which I'll never lose. Hey, that's a nice one. That's a nice one. That's also a way you could go. I do regular backups of my iPad. Yeah, I have this backup structure on my iPad, and whenever I've been working a lot within something, which I do in LumaFusion and Cubasis and AUM, I always take the presets I make or the sessions I make and I save those. Always. I move them over every week. I just do this whole thing, and I clean my iPad off stuff and, you know, stuff lying around, and I clean the deep memory and stuff like that. So yeah, I keep doing that because I have to keep stuff nice and tidy. I pay for Dropbox, and it's been worthwhile investment. I'm gonna do that, actually. I'm gonna do that for the for a Hack Attack account because I want to put some files in there soon when I'm done with some stuff and things. Yeah, I want to put some stuff in there so that I can share stuff to my patrons and also to my viewers. I'm lucky. I've never lost music. I had my shittiest recordings from when I was 15. I have some shitty recordings, but they're all on tape. The tapes I still have. I'll never play them for anyone. They're that bad. I do like the potential. I'm wondering if there's an app that can control lights on iOS for live productions. Yeah, there is actually. What is that called? You mean like you need something that can do DMX? Is that what you're looking for? DMX or Wi-Fi? I know that there are apps out there that do Wi-Fi and stuff, but if you need like DMX stuff, there are apps that do that. I've seen that. I mean, it's a very simple system. It's basically MIDI. Use them for sampler fodder. All right, so let's see. How much have we been streaming? We've been streaming, okay, almost for 2 hours. I would like to extend my streams a little bit, but I do also know that my partner in life, she's sitting out there. She might be waiting for me to stop so she can, because she sleeps in here. Yeah, I might actually in the future do some kind of a thing where I can just pick up the MacBook or something and go in and continue the stream in the other room in there. Yeah, I'll look into that because if it would be fun to extend it. I know that all of you can't just sit around here for 2 hours watching me stream, but there are some people popping in rather late. U.S. citizens and people from other places on the globe, and yeah, it would be cool just to keep on going for a while. Today, I'm a bit tired in my voice because I've been recording narration, but I could have probably gone on for at least an hour, but another hour, but I'm not gonna do that. So yeah, I'm gonna round this up. It turns out the iPad Pro 12.9-inch won. I'll do a pinned comment down there. For anyone who might be like, I just want to know. I have people like that. You talk too much, Jacob. And I'm wondering why they watch my content if they think I talk too much. But still, it's criticism and it's good. So I'll do a pinned comment so that those people can just go and check and see that that's what he chose. And before I go, I just want to see if I'm just gonna show you any updates that might have happened on the PayPal so that you know and you can see. And I will of course keep you updated on that, whatever happens. Let's see here. Come on, don't do that. Oh, I spelled it wrong. I spelled my own name wrong, chat. I get my own birthday wrong too. Look at that. Oh my god. Are you serious? There's $67 in there. There was zero. There have been zero for a very long time. There are now $46.67 in there. And that's all from you. So, thank you, Dimitri. Thank you, Thomas. I'm not going to say the full name. And thank you, Andrew. Thank you so much for your donation. You're amazing. I know you don't have to. And especially now with everything happening in the world, people losing their jobs. By the way, remember to go give Brandon some love. Brandon Rico Simpson. Link is down in the description. But thank you so much for this. Like, I am gonna make sure that I earn this. All right, I'm gonna make sure, and I'll keep you posted. I'll keep you updated. And it looks like we are getting that iPad sooner than we thought, and that's gonna be good. And we're gonna do some awesome stuff. And I'm gonna find some way of getting some, being able to get some requests from the viewers, especially from those of you who have donated to this, so we can look in if there's something specific you want me to test out. I am the nerdy guy, I mean, I've been sitting testing lightning connectors forever, And even though I don't like the prospect of having no headphone jack, directly on the iDevice, one thing I'm looking forward to is not testing out every adapter out there, because it looks as if you'll be able to use cables directly with this thing when this is USB-C. So thank you so much. Oh, I almost showed the names there. I'm not gonna do that, but I will be doing this. So I'm just gonna do. You can't see the email, right? No, but there we got like 20 GBP from Andrew. So making sure no emails or anything. And look at that. We got. I'm covering up the picture because I don't know if you want people to see that, but that's. Can you see that? Oh, almost saw the person there, but Thomas, 10 USDs. Thank you so much. And also, let's see here. Yeah, I've shown this one, but I'm showing it again. So Dimitri, 10 euro. You're awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, don't know. It feels weird, everyone. It shouldn't. I have a patron. That was weird enough for me. Okay, it has been weird, and a lot of you patrons know that. Some of you watching are patrons. I know that. But yeah, thank you. I'm very humbled by this. It's always a very humbling experience when someone reaches out like that and donates money. This has been Jakob haQ live, and we've had an awesome time here, and we now know what we're looking for in an iPad for this channel. Thank you so much for watching, and welcome back next Wednesday when we do AUM stuff and build live sets. If you're interested in that, I would be very interested in having you in the chat and discussing more stuff with you. And that's it. If you have anything else you want to comment on or something, you can drop out of the chat and put a comment down below. I know that I haven't been answering all of your comments on this channel lately, but I have been reading them. I have. So yeah, if you want to do that, do that. And thanks for the RAM there, Enrique. You're awesome. All right, dongle, everybody, dongle. Where is the live stream stopping button? Oh, it's right there. So, as usual, I wish you a very productive week. Now go finger all of your stuff and have a lot of fun doing it. Bye, everyone. I failed. I effed it up again. I was gonna do it so perfectly. Bye, everyone. Stop stream. But then, of course, it's a two-factor. Do you want to finish? Do you want to finish, Jacob? Do you really want to stop streaming? Yes, I do. Let's do this again. Thank you so much for watching. All comments and ratings are very much appreciated. As usual, I wish you a very productive week. Now go finger all of your stuff and have a lot of fun doing it. Bye-bye.